back to my channel. See about title I'm doing a story time. But before we get into this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification bell when I post or upload anything on my channel. I gotta slow that part down because y'all know I'll be saying it too fast, I'll be messing up. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and let's jump right to this video. So this story time took place when I was in high school. This was my freshman year of high school. And this is only for this is only for story time. So if anybody that go across this final, if one of y'all find this video and y'all still have a problem with it, grow up, like for real. But I had this friend named M, and we went to middle school and high school together. And we used to be like, I ain't gonna lie, when us two together in a classroom, the teachers didn't like that. They try to separate us because we used to always play too much in classrooms. So yeah, so my teacher was, when we went to high school, freshman year, you know how they do the attendance, the teacher was like, calling everybody name, and I raised my hand like, you ain't called me or M name. She was like, yeah, she ain't look at the paper, y'all, like she knew who we was. Like she ain't look at the paper, she ain't look down. She was like, oh, you Ontario Williams, and that's blah, 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 M. So I was like, all right. I was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, teacher told me to watch out for y'all. And I'm like, why would she say that? And I'm like, that's petty, like, we never gonna see you. Like, we left middle school and high school now, and you snitching already. Come on now. Let her find out how we is. You know what I mean? Let her have her own opinion. So that happened. And then like me and Malik, I ain't gonna lie, me and Malik was still doing like same way we was in middle school, like goofing around, barely doing our work. Even though I was doing my work, but I was mostly playing. Was playing, laughing, goofing around, stuff like that. And I guess she didn't like that. So one day she had put me to the side and she was like, can you please calm down? And you asked Malik to calm down because, I said his name, screw it. His name Malik. Asked him to calm down. I was like, yeah, because she's like, if y'all don't like the way y'all keep going, I'm gonna have to write y'all a referral. And I was like, dang, it's only been 2 weeks of school. 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks passed, bro. From the first day of school, 2 weeks only passed, and you already talking about a referral. I was like, nah. So I was like, let me tell Malik, I'm like, we gotta cool down. So while that was happening, people kept coming up to me like, oh, that's your friend, that crazy boy Malik. Like, cause he used to do some weird stuff. Like, it was funny, but he used to do like crazy stuff. So I was like, nah, they ain't my best friend. Like, we cool. Like he like a brother to me. Like, we cool, like close. Like, but he ain't my best friend. So I guess they had ran that back to him, saying I told them like, he not my best friend, which is true. So I guess they might have feel like seeing like I don't mess with him like that. So I came to Malik and I was like, he like kind of was standoffish because like he wasn't talking to me in class, and I was like, Malik, what's up? I was like, oh, like I was doing my work and he was doing his work, but he was hanging out with other people too. But he was better talking to me. I was like, that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. I ain't care. I thought I was going through this. So I talked to him like, oh, the teacher sounded like, oh, we gotta calm down, or she gonna write the. He was like, I don't care. I'm still doing me. And he was like, you mad phony. And I was like, how? He was like, you telling people we not cool. I was like, no, I told them like we not best friends, but like he was like, that's cool, like you fake as he like he's off because he was like, you mad fake. I was like, all right, you feel like that's you. And I guess he took that and like made it seem like I don't want to mess with him no more. So I guess so he started telling everybody I'm fake, phony, even people I don't know. Like he knew way more people than me. I knew like a handful, cause I have like trust issues and I don't like open up to people and stuff like that. But that's another story. So people was coming up to me and was like, oh, you that fake boy that hang out, like you was that fake boy Malik talking about. And my name is Antario, but they used to call me Antonio, Ontario. Like nobody used to know how to pronounce my name back then. It used to bug me, I ain't gonna lie. It used to bug me. Like it is what it is though. A lot of people can't pronounce it, but we used to argue back and forth. Mind you, this is only 2 weeks of school. Like we argued from 2 weeks all the way to March. Like March. Like that's long, childish, and petty. Like you don't like me that bad. Like if you don't like me, just leave it alone. Like that's it. Cut each other off. Like where I'm from, like nobody argues this long. Like if you don't like each other, just fight and let it go. If you don't want to fight, just let it go. You just don't like each other. But these generations, like, well, these kids I came from, like, that's how they was. Back where I came from, like, my old schools, feel like each other, they just got over it. nobody continued to argue with people like how we did. Like, it was just crazy. Like, the difference from this to this, way different, y'all. Way different from what I had. So, we argued all the way to March. And then, yeah, March. And then this one kid. Now, this happened in between. This one boy named Prince. He was new to our school. I'm just going to call him name. I already said Malika Prince. Prince is the other boy. So, Prince came the week of spring break, like the last day, I think. That's the last time. That's what I recall. I remember. It was on Friday because spring break was the next week, and he was the new student, which I did. That was crazy because we had PE 6th and 7th period together, and I didn't notice him in PE. So we got the 7th period, and my friend was like, we got a new student. I'm like, yeah. I walked in the classroom, didn't see him because the way our class, you would see everybody, you would see us. It was only 3 people in our row. Me, Sierra, me, and Princess, and then he sat with us that day. So, like, oh, he right here. So when I leaned over to look, I'm not trying to be funny, rude. I ain't see his face. I ain't see what color shirt the boy had on. I just seen his eyebrows. Like, they was like this. And I was like, oh, he got some thick eyebrows. And then she laughed. Everybody was saying that. Mind you, remember, everybody was saying that. But when I used to say it, it was a problem. But hey. But that had happened. Spring break come. Boom, we out of school for a week. Come back. Instantly, I think it was like it was a day before that. Malik was walking the hallway, and I was walking the hallway, and we seen each other. And he grabbed my book bag scrap like this, and he like slung me to the locker. I mean, when he slung me, y'all, to the locker. Like, boom, I hit my head and everything. Everybody always stopped. And he was like, what? My bad, yeah, my cousin had walked the room. But yeah, everybody was like, you're not going to do anything. So I went to go put my book bag. I put my book off my sleeve, and I was like, and one thing I heard in my head, no lie, y'all, I heard my mama in my head. She was like, if you get suspended, I'm beating your A word. And I was like, I put my book back on. I was like, no. I was like, no, you got that. You got that. I was so angry, y'all. That's what I did with Grant. Because if my mom would have told not to get like suspended, stuff like that, I would have fought him, no lie, because I was so angry that whole day. Like, I was being mean to everybody. I was so mad. I really did wanted to beat the brakes off of him in that hallway. I would have dogged him in the hallway. But I was like, no. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, I know you can't beat me, but I can't beat her. So I'm gonna let you live. So I let him live that day. So the following day, nothing happened throughout the days. Not in first, second, PE. We get the 7th period, the last period of the day. And it was 7th period, science. So we had science, but before I got something, I was running late because I think I was probably mad or something like that because I was a little late to class. Not late, like I was before the bell, but everybody was able to in the classroom, but I can't. My teacher put up to the side for all kind. He was like, Rio, he's calling me Rio because he's calling me Ontario, like the place, like that. So I was like, no, just call me Rio, short, easy. So some teacher called me Tario, Rio, or Mr. Williams. Majority called me Mr. Williams. But he was like, can you be on your best behavior, be on cool, just do your work, just ignore them, blah, blah, blah. I guess he already knew they was talking or something like that. He was like, just ignore them, just do your work. Now, if I like the teacher, I'm going to listen. If I didn't like that teacher, I probably would not listen and egg on to their foolishness. But since it was cool to teach, I was like, all right, cool, I'm just going to ignore them. Princess ain't come to school that day. My friend Princess ain't come to school, so don't me and Sierra. And the new kid ain't sit with us. To this day, on that day too, I didn't know who he was. Even if he 6th period, didn't notice him. Then I was like, cool. So back in class, I'm doing my work. Malik and Entis going to Antonella. They like being so petty, shady. I'm looking at my teacher. He kept shaking his head like, no. I was like, cool. All right now. Like, you telling me not to say anything, right? And they just continue like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I started shaking my leg. Friends here like, just ignore them. I'm trying my best, y'all. I was like, you're right. Just ignore them. Just do your work. La, 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 la. So I'm doing my work. legs shaking. Like, I'm getting mad at this point. I keep looking at my teacher. He keep shaking his head. No, don't do it. Don't do it. So, okay, I turned around, look at my book. I looked up. All three of them looking. Antonella looked. Lee was in the middle. Prince was on the edge, and Antonella was on the other side of him. And they was like, I said, screw it. And I said, who the fuck you looking at? And I mean, the whole classroom got quiet. My teacher was staring at me. Everybody got quiet. And I was like, who you looking at? Mind you, I don't know him. Prince, by the way. I don't know him. So why would you jump in something that you don't know? So anyway, so he the one that said, who is you talking to? Like, the way he said it was like, he ain't say like, oh, who are you talking to? He was like, who is you talking to? Like, aggressively. Malik and so ain't say nothing. And he was like, yeah, he was like, who is you talking to? Mind you, I don't know you, so why would you say anything? So I was like, in my head, probably me, I'm a Virgo, I overthink a lot, y'all. I overthink a lot. So in my head, I'm thinking, if I would have been like, oh, I want to talk to you, he was going to be like, oh, okay, you better not be talking to me like, you know how people be rude like that. So I took it like he was going to say it like that. So I was like, oh, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I said, oh, I'm talking to you. So he stood up, and I stood up, and I said, you better not want to do that. Sit down with them thick y'all, I did because I was mad. I said, sit down with them thick ASS eyebrows. And he said, yeah, my teacher's like, yeah, sit down. So we both sat down. I was like, right, because you don't want to do that. So that had happened. So I started beefing with him. Like, bro, you only seen you came to school Friday to my knowledge, because I don't pay attention to nobody. You come to school Friday, spring break is a week. You come back and you already in it with somebody you don't even know. Make it make sense. So that happened. They used to try to jump me. I was scared. Like, they tried to jump me. So the day of I was gonna skip all that. So we used to beef. So we fought either May. Yeah, I think we either fought May. Cause it wasn't the month of March. Yeah, it had to be in May. It was like the next month. So they tried to jump me at the bus ramp or whatever, and I was like, I wasn't gonna fight Malik. I ain't scared of nobody. I was like, I'm not gonna fight you, but I'm gonna fight you, cause I still consider Malik a friend. Even though we used to argue, I know that's crazy. I know that's crazy. Even though we used to get in arguments, he pushed me in the locker. I still consider this boy as a friend, like a friend. Like, I'm like, oh, he mad. I used to go, oh, he mad. You know how like friends fall out, you become friends again. Oh, he mad. We gonna become friends. No, that wasn't the point. So school in, go on the bus, I go home. Friday they asked me to come because they were like, oh, when you come over there, we gonna beat you up. But I had to stay home Friday. Don't know why. Saturday, my granddad had came over, so I ain't go over there Saturday. Then my brother came over Sunday. So it was me, my brother, my older brother came over Sunday. My mama don't love, and so it's just me and my older brother. Ain't no T. Me and my older brother, we really ain't click like that. So I was like, oh, deuces, I'm leaving. So I went to my best friend's house, and then she was like, oh, Malik and Prince were looking at you. Malik was like, oh, he wanna fight you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, for what? I'm not fighting him. Like, that's dumb. So it was like, oh, okay. So I ain't gonna lie. My best friend low key set me up. I think she set me up. So we went to Thornton. That when Thornton's just open, so you still got, if you know what Thornton is, it's a gas station thing. They was getting rid of them little free slushy things still. So we went to go get those. Then her friend was driving, and then we went to where Malik them used to live. That's my cousin. Well, we went to where Malik used to live, and then we went to the park. He was like, oh, I gotta go drop something off. It's two parks. He was going to the back. So why we just didn't go to the back part? He went with the part where everybody was, like with Malik, Prince, everybody, like a lot of people from like our school was at the park or whatever. And I was like, I seen Prince, I seen Malik, and I was like, look, what, I'm not finna fight, cause if I'm in this is weird. If I'm in a happy mood, I don't care how mad you is. If you try to fight me, I'm not gonna fight you. I be trying to get angry, like, and the inside, like, it's weird. I was like trying to get angry, so like to get mad to fight. If I'm in a good headset, I don't fight people. It's weird, but We got to fight. I was like, I'm not gonna fight. I was like, oh, you don't gotta fight. You don't have to fight nobody. I was like, okay, cool. So we got the car, seeing Rio and Ontario. That's what it was in my name. I'm like, oh, he coming to beat both y'all up. I'm like, no, it is what it is. So I sat down. I know this prince was coming on my side. He hit me. Ain't gonna lie, he hit me. He hit me. And I tried to explain to him, like, no, don't fight him. He don't want to fight you. Like, okay, he don't want to fight, but he over here swinging. Right. So I sat down, and I was, like, furious. And Malik was still not, yeah, I'm not going to fight you, or whatever. I'm not going to fight him, because I'm saying people going to talk, like, why did I fight Malik and not him? But y'all let him hit me, and I can't defend myself. So I sat down, shaking my leg. Like, he was sitting on the bench. And at first, I was just going to run up on him while he was sitting down. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till he's standing up. And whatever. So he kept looking at me. So I went to my best friend. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm finna hit him. So she was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it yet. Because she was talking to somebody else. So I sat back down. I took my phone out of my pocket, put it on the table. And he walked to my friend. And he was like, well, what? Me probably overthinking. Okay, he walked right after I sat down. He went back over there. And to my knowledge, me overthinking. He was like, what did he say? And I got like, oh, you could just saw out. So I got up. So he walked around the pole. You know, the bench things they be at the park. So he got up. As soon as he walked back around, I got up to walk towards him. So when I walked towards him, I don't have a set. So I swung. But when I swung, he turned. He seen me coming. So when I swung, he turned his head, and I hit him in his face 3 times. And everybody was like, oh, snap. I'm like, oh, you stole him. Let him get his fair one. So I backed up. I'm like, okay. So but he can steal me. But when I come walking up to him, why he see me coming, but it ain't my fault. He turned his head. So I backed up, and he threw up his set. And he was like, throw your set up. I said, I don't got a set. And when I hit him with that 3, I was like, oh yeah, I can beat you. So when he swung like this, you know how some people swing wild? He did like that wild swing like this. He went like that or whatever. But when he did that, he didn't hit me. He grabbed me from my waist. And I was like punching this boy so hard in his head. And he grabbed my leg. I was hopping on one leg, y'all. I'm so tall, hopping on one leg. And I'm like punching him in his forehead, back of his head, like I'm trying to, like, I'm hitting you and you not gonna let go. So I felt that I was gonna fall. So when I fell, he was on top, I grabbed his shirt. Like, if I'm falling, you come down with me. So I grabbed him by his shirt and I pulled him down with me. And I'm not gonna lie, when we went down, he was on top of me. When he swung, lucky he missed. I know if he would hit my face, he probably would have blacked my eye. But like he punched like right here. It went like past my face. Like I felt the dirt vibrate and everything. Like I was like, oh no. So when I heard that, I don't know how I did it. I flipped him off me, and I got on top of him, and I was like, walk out. I was like punching or whatever, and I heard a girl. That's why I thought it was a girl. I heard a girl say, "Get off my brother," and then when I heard that, I felt somebody pull my hair and hit me 6 times, and then I felt somebody fall over me, and I got mad, like, yo, like, who jumping in the fight? So I picked him up like this. I don't know how I got crackhead strength that time or whatever, because I picked him up. He under me, right, and I'm on top of him. I picked him up like, lift him up like a baby, like how you pick a baby up off the bed. I picked him up like that, and I don't know why I picked him up. I should have just stayed on top of him, but I picked him up, and I tried to lift him, and I tried to sling his body like this back on the floor, but like slam back on the ground, but our legs got entangled like this. So we're just like moving around like this, and I hit him like 2 more times, and I was like, clearly he ain't want to fight. So I just holding him, like we was wrestling like at this point, and then me being clumsy again, I fell, and I just had him in a hole like this, so he couldn't punch me. He could have punched my ribs, but I was holding him, and then like this man came, and like he broke it up. Mind you, like I was still on the ground. Like if I'm getting beat up, I'm sorry, I don't care. If they're breaking up and you're still on the ground, I'm getting back on top of you. But he did. He said, nah, he ain't gonna do that. So he let me up. And everybody was like, nah, fight Malik. He jumped in the fight. And I was like, no, it was a girl. I thought it was Prince's sister that jumped in the fight, but it wasn't. When they recorded it, I seen it. It was Malik. He pulled my hair, hit me. And they were like, fight Malik, fight Malik, fight Malik. And I was like, no. And I was thinking about it, I was like, oh my God, I can go to jail because I'm trespassing. So I was like, if I fight Malik, we going to local neighborhood. And he was like, nah, we ain't gonna fight. So we got back in the car and went to the other part because the boy had to go drop off what he had to go drop off. And we came back. And then they was like, I'll fight Malik, fight Malik. So Prince walked away and his mama came. He was like, what happened? And he was like, he gonna steal me in school. And his mama like, if you gonna fight him now. Ain't nobody gonna jump in. And such and such, but he would fight. So we came back and Malik them, I guess they smoked or whatever. And he was high and I was like, I'm not gonna fight him. But he still want to fight me. So we're like, no, we gonna fight at the park. Cause they had a camera and stuff like that. And the office open. So they're like, we gonna go behind the apartment area. I was like, cool. So we walked behind the buildings. And then we was all standing back there. And I was like, they were like, wait till everybody come. My best friend was like, wait till everybody come. Well, she said, I put that clip. I'm not gonna show the fight, but I put that video. She was like, wait till everybody come. So while we were waiting for everybody, I was asking Malik, like before I walked over to him, I asked this boy like 6 times. I was like, Malik, do you really want to fight? And he just kept like, yeah. And I was like, do you really want to fight? I asked him six times, do you want to fight? And the last time he was like, yeah. And he called me out my name. So I walked over and I was like, all right, cool, you want to fight, let's go. So I walked over and I seen his set. And I was like, oh, I'm finna beat you up. So he did like a little rock move and I went right in his face. I hit him so hard and he like flew to the gate and I hit him with an uppercut. I ain't gonna lie, and then like it was like a little ditch. You know how like the gate like this and like a little ditch like this? Like feel like it looked like a dog was digging, but it's like meant to be there some way. So I was finna fall back and I'm like, no, why I keep getting on the floor? So I grabbed the gate and I pulled and like I teabagged him. That what everybody say. Like they were like, you teabag. Remember that day you teabag Malik? They talk about that a lot. Like you teabag Malik, cause like my area was in his face. Cause I leaned, like he was pulling me. He was going down on me, not going down. I'll be inappropriate, y'all. He was like pulling me in front of the gate, and I pulled myself back, and his face was right there. And I was just hitting him with uppercuts. He had knots and titties all over his face or whatever. So he pulled my hair. He did. And then this boy broke it up, which I ain't really mess with him like that. And I'm like, don't touch me. But I'm like, okay, cool. So we broke it up. I went home and I told my brother I got in a fight. He didn't believe me. I was like, yeah, I got in a fight. And he seen the video. He was like, yeah, if your friend never grabbed his arm, he would have hit you in your eye. Which I seen in the video because it was like this. I wasn't paying attention. He did swing and my friend caught his arm. He would have hit me in my eye. I ain't gonna lie. He would have blacked my eye. So that was like, okay, he would have had that shot. And then the cooler was, my friend was holding his arm. So people was like, oh, you only wanted to fight because she grabbed his arm. For one, she only grabbed his arm when we was up. From the beginning, when he was on the ground, when I was on top of him, when he was on the ground on top of me the first, 3 seconds, he did not swing. I was the only one swinging. She blocked, 2 hits from him? His friend jumped in and hit me 6 times. Malik hit me more than Prince. So that happened. School was the next day because I fought them on a Sunday. School was the next day. We go to school Monday. First period, Malik white as a mouse. We go to first period. Second period, no, it was still first period. I got called to the office and I'm like, why I got called to the office? I ain't do nothing like wrong. And I went to the police office. I was like, why am I at the police office for? Seemed like, oh, I heard you got in a fight with Malik, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. He was like, it was on Sunday. It was like, it was on school ground. It was like, he said I fought him school ground. Like, no, actually, it was on Sunday, and I fought his apartment. And then he was like, and I was like, he jumped in the fight. And he was like, oh, I didn't know he jumped in the fight. I was like, yeah, he jumped in the fight, and we fought 1-on-1. So, like, and he was like, well, you're trespassing. And I was like, well, he jumped in the fight, he touched me. And he was like, if you do it again, you'll get in trouble. And I said, if he touched me again, I'm going to beat him up again. And I was like, I know that was rude on my behalf, but I was like mad, like, you telling me this for what? He touched me. I'm saying somebody touched you, touched him, hit him back. So I was like, no. And I was like, okay, are we done? And I know it's a rule. I was like, are we done? So I can go back to class. He was like, yeah, we done. I was like, okay, cool. So I go to class and Malik telling people in the class like, oh, you a snitch. You went to the office, talk about we got in a fight. While I snitch on you, I beat you up. You ain't beat me up. I beat you up. But it is what it is. And I got in a couple fights after that, and me and Malik became friends. Then we fell out again because him and Prince fell out, and then it was a long story. With them two was terrible. Like, bruh, it was so much drama just with them two people, and then they friends had problems with me because they didn't like me, which was crazy. But that's the time that my friend jumped me. I don't know how her name is. I got jumped by I got jumped by my friend, or my friend set me up, or my best friend set me up. I don't know, but make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell, and I'll see y'all in the next video.